Okay, I have it kind of turned again because I was like trying to figure out a way to get comfortable. Oh my God, I cannot believe how uncomfortable I am. It is, I know it's some kind of autoimmune. It's our body having the reactions to this stuff. I know enough people in my family that are diagnosed with the autoimmune. Most of us have friends and everything who go through the whole process to get diagnosed. And then even the ones like my sister, I have a cousin who has got extreme, and my sister, they've changed her diagnosis so many times, and hers to me is extreme because she goes in and gets infusions, which is no fucking way. I will go through this horrific pain and just keep trying to detox. Today I'm going to try and do turpentine. I did the charcoal and stuff, but I still feel like no matter what, it's the things that the people talk about. It's these different sensations you get in your body and different things your body does, and everybody starts saying that's parasites. It's like, what the fuck? How do I do all this stuff that supposedly kills them? Like, I don't know. There's these whole elaborate cleanses that are out. Like, maybe it is. Like, you have to be super duper consistent or something, and like super precise. You can't just like take some charcoal here, take some turpentine there. Like, but it's weird because I take so many things. They're supposed to be anti-parasitic. I don't even eat meat. Like, it's like, what in the holy hell? I mean, I don't want that. What parasite? I mean, and how many parasites do they just stay in us forever and ever? Or does our body just have weird sensations and everybody's just paranoid and then they just pass the paranoia around? Like, it just fucks with my head. But one thing, though, about that collective intention that is being manifested right now. So I was just watching this video, and it was, it's definitely, TikTok has turned into just, is if Amazon did a social media thing, and it is just primarily commercials. It's so many commercials, and it's so disgusting too, because China, their TikTok isn't like ours. And even if they have like a whole TikTok shop, which we're buying all China knockoff shit, like they even will sit there and say it's like free people, but they're all their knockoff stuff. It's all like, don't buy UGG boots, buy the Chinese knockoffs. And so that is what they do. They make the cheaper version that looks the same. It's superficial. But then we run the good businesses out of business because we don't buy good stuff, because we want to buy tons of stuff. So we'd rather buy quantity over quality when we need to be buying quality over quantity. But see, that's where things are going to turn, I think. But it is just like commercial. And I saw some guy who was explaining it, and he was talking about how smart TikTok is, just amazingly so smart. And I think they just feed off of our shallowness, but that they are, have set this up like Amazon. And it's just like what I was saying, and then they give all the people opportunities to get money by doing commercials for all the products. So it's just commercial, but all the people who are just trying to make money that way. It's like, and everybody thinks like that's their side hustle. Get a that's going to turn into their, their equity. That's their skill. That's what they bring to the table, which some people have real sincere products. Like, there's people out there who've been making all sorts of homeopathic stuff, all sorts of really good products. And that's where these shops take advantage of them. So they'll sell them, but they'll take a huge chunk of the money to give them notice. And then on top of that, then there's even more money. It's like where the waiters have to tip out, So it is, you know, it's not really good. And it's kind of even selling in mass and selling for so much less. Like the people get so many more sales and they get so excited. So you're creating so much more stuff, but you're getting so much more, you want more sales because you've got to dish out more money to everybody. If you were getting, you know, a healthy amount of sales, like the sales you needed that was healthy to your time management, the environment, the harmony, where it was in harmony and you were putting out a good product. And if everybody couldn't get your product, that even raises the value of your product more, of how good quality it is. So see, it's kind of like the greed, it always turns the products into, you know, mass production. There's all these people taking cuts. And so it's got to go the other way in order to be in harmony, because the other way is scattered. People are making money off of other people's stuff. Just like this, people, you know, they make money off of just talking about someone else's product. And it's, and there's people who just figure that that is a good way to make money. It's like what I have been talking about, just to be clear, is when we are changing into this like new society, which is happening right now. Places are laying off. And people can sit there and be like, oh my God, you know, Walmart's closing 700 stores. They're going to lay off so many people. Tyson Chicken is closing all their farms, which it all goes together. Like it's so absurd. Like Chick-fil-A sells all this stuff, and y'all think that they're not buying Gator Boys chicken? Like they wouldn't be allowed. There's all of this is controlled. It's like the gangsters, you know, run this whole show. Like everything is controlled. So the so anyways, so Tyson, the car places are closing. The car places, there's going to be it will kind of change because we're going to go into like these other kind of cars. We're going to go into, they're going to get off of the like jalopies, all of that. And it was more rubber and plastics and stuff, which are toxic for the environment, which we're going to go away from that. So, and I swear to God, watch the old movies. It is mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It is just right there. It's like the story is being told before your eyes. And they're guiding you how to look at it. So it's crazy. But that is, you know, I mean, they were put there to monitor our thoughts, to direct our vision, to see things the way they wanted us to see things. They had total mind control. And it was all on this shallow thing. Everything is always on this shallow drive, this ego-driven part of people that they keep tapping into. And I don't know why that is, it's just different levels, you know. It's just different parts we play. Like, you know, people come in to heal the things that they're going to go through from this experience. And it's, you know, it's a lot, man. So all these places are going to be closing, and that is going to be, you know, or people are going to feel like they're getting fucked and stuff because they're not seeing the good side. You know, the good side is that we're getting out of this corporate hold, the stranglehold. And you know, this whole time when I keep saying about there's something weird about TikTok, like I've been saying this for a while, whereas like I just don't know if TikTok is going to be around as like a social media thing in the future. Like I don't think you know, any of Zuck's shit is going to be around. I think even people who go back onto some of his stuff when they've been off of it get really grossed out. It's like once the people get off of it and they see how controlled their thinking is and stuff, so there's those things are going to crash along with Zuck. And so I feel like that is going to be the same with TikTok, especially it's just turning itself into such a, it's just about shop, 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 shop. It's so gross. But when I'm talking about you making money off of you, it's not, doing that. To me, like if you have something to offer, like if you are good at doing something, then make videos that are showing what you're good at. Like you make money off of videos, but not just making money off of videos talking about somebody else's products. These people just like they want to just be up their own ass so bad. They want to feel important. They want to make money off of just nonsense. And our society is turning. The vibration's turning away from that. And it's just weird when you see all these people doing it, but it's like this purging it out. Like they've got to do it and see it fall apart. They got to feel it fall apart. They got to see their own shallowness, But if you're trying to figure out like, well, what am I supposed to do? If I'm supposed to quit going to work, I'm supposed to pull free, I'm going to get laid off. But you have skills, you have things inside of you that you're good at, that you have gone untapped through all this trying to survive life. There's parts of you that have gone untapped. You have skills, you have certain gifts, there's things about you. That's your road to you as you're developing yourself. You find the things you're interested in, you find the things you're good at, and you develop those skills. You have certain things inside of you that will direct you towards what you're interested in. You'll find like, oh my gosh, I'm really good at this. It could be so many different things. I mean, you could go to, somebody invites you to go to some sort of welding class, not like great big welders or whatever, but some little thing, maybe stained glass or something. And you go in and you start doing that, soldering and seeing you're really good at it, and it turns into a whole thing for you. And you're so good at it naturally that it is, people want your products. Because there's something inside of you. You have something in you that you bring here to be your livelihood, to be your success. But you have to tap into it. And that's what they want to keep you outside of yourself all the time. But you tap into that and you find something you're good at. And it can be so versatile. It could be a service. It could be a talent. It could be just multiple things, and you just follow that. And then the universe, as you're following that positive thing, is this a positive encounter towards yourself, the universe just starts opening that path. And everything will start opening, and doors will open, and things will start going in the direction to take you where you're supposed to go. And that's where you'll see is if doors open, what direction. You watch the energy of how it's moving. And you'll see if you are going and you keep hitting into brick wall after brick wall, and you think like, fuck, I'm doing exactly what I want to do and I'm not getting anywhere, then that's not the direction that you're something better, or something that it's just, you've got to lean a different direction. You don't ever just keep trying to force something because you think it's supposed to be this way. No, the universe, it plays along with you. It will show you, and you get good at it. You'll start seeing some things are obstacles that are placed before you to have you push through and to overcome. And then some things are just roadblocks, and so you got to watch. Like if something, I always do it. Maybe that's where they come up with the number of 3 or something. But if you're trying to do something, you hit into a roadblock. And then you're like, okay, I can overcome this. I can get over this. And then you hit into another one. And then you're like, well, fuck. And as soon as it starts getting to that, that's where you got is like your antenna, your hair. Isn't that funny too? It's like all your hairs on your body will even stand up at certain times. I'm telling you, it's your antenna. It's your feelers. It's like, it's so funny because, you know, humans think that they're so cool and good looking and stuff because they're humans and everybody else is all creepy creature looking. But, you know, really, if you are some other things, we're pretty weird too. Like we've got all these feelers and stuff. Like, I don't know. There's lots of weird things about us. So anyways, so the universe is going to take jobs away. Is going to push people into having them. People are going to feel like they're falling apart and stuff. Even all these people who think like, oh, cool, man, I'm just making money off of just buying shit ton of stuff. Like, so you have to buy all this stuff off the shop so that you get money. Like, okay, that sounds like a great idea. So you buy the stuff off the shop so you can get it, so you can review it, so you can do videos, so you can make money off of it. So it's like an investment where TikTok is always making a lot of money. And it's going to reduce the quality of things because it is, you don't need to sell your stuff to 1 billion people on TikTok. It is going to overrun, you know, and you want to keep good quality of your products and your reputation. And we're going to go into the thing where money is not going to be an object or an interference. People will pay good money for quality stuff. Like, I think people who are good at sewing and stuff, like, I've seen some crazy good sewers on TikTok. And those people, to me, they are going to start making tons of money when people start going and wanting their clothes made to fit them and start going to actual clothing makers, seamstresses and stuff like people used to, where you got your clothes fitted to you. And it's going to be, everything is not going to be mass production. It's not going to be like go in and there's all these things that are all these different sizes hanging on the racks. So you can just conveniently go up and take whatever, and all that leftover, all of the slave labor, all of the resources, all of the waste that goes behind that. And that is why the planet has to kind of roll over too and make room for what's coming, what's new. And it's definitely not going to be wasteful like this. And it's funny because I see, you know, all these people, you know, just realizing about manifesting and stuff. But they still just, to me, they don't really realize. They think that everything is about just thinking. It's like, it just reminds me so much of my sister. After she read Norman Vincent Peale, he was before The Secret. This was back in, like, you could look him up. I don't even remember. She was obsessed with him. She read his book. It was The Power of Positive Thinking. And so she decided she was going to be an Academy Award winning famous actress. And that was it. And you couldn't say, because the power of positive thinking, you cannot say anything outside of that. You don't think anything outside of that. So I saw the power of positive thinking, and I saw where it got you. It doesn't work. It is destiny, fate and destiny. That's where people think like, oh, they're so lucky. Well, it's just their fate. That was their fated experience they came in to have. It's their destiny. It's what they are come here. It's destined. There's nothing about, you know, if we all think hard enough, we can make sure. It isn't like that. But that is the part where people have to advance more spiritually to understand that it's about relaxing and having faith in life. And the manifesting, like I've said, like you manifest things all the time. Like you bring things like, fuck, I'm already manifesting what I'm going to get because I'm going shopping tomorrow. If I get my paycheck, bet your house I'm going to go spend it. I'm going to go shopping and go to the thrift store. And I just I don't know. I need to go shopping. I need something new in my life. I've just been in this. Oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? So I got to go get groceries anyways. And the thrift store is right in between. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look for a couple sweaters, couple shirts, just to, a couple more pairs. My favorite are these men's fleece pajama pants. Oh my God, I love them. It's like putting a blanket on. So I love to look at them, and there's like $3 or $4 to get a pair at the thrift store. So, but who knows what the prices will be? Who knows what the situation will be? There's nonsense nonstop. Or you go out and you go into the system, like everything is falling apart. Like Denver Airport, somebody was showing footage of that. It is completely all just people. Like they can just stop flights. It's all about controlling our movement and stuff. And I mean, and look what they're doing. Like, you know, we're all sitting here bracing for something to go down here, and then they start doing it over there. And it's so crazy too, is it's all just about this money. Like they go in and attack places just so that they can say they're putting money. It's all about money launder. It's ridiculous. It's so gross. And, you know, so there's people who are all under attack, and then you don't even know how much of it is staged and how much of it is real. There was a guy who was showing his this news, and he's sitting, like a window is like right here. He's sitting here. He's holding his thing, and it shows the this building blow up, and then he pans over to show it's perfectly beautiful outside. There's nothing going on. So they show things on the news that aren't even real. So it's hard to even know what's real and what's not real, you know. And it's a crazy amount of missiles and stuff. But I kept seeing live footage, and some I saw where it was tons and tons of missiles going. So, but you know, I mean, we don't know really if everything was evacuated and there's something more going on, is we don't know any of the things that are going on in places that, you know, if it's not right in your area, it makes such a big difference over what's going on in your general vicinity. And, you know, God, here, it's like, fuck, it's weird. To me, it's got to just be like the poisoning, because it's just nonstop. I just, well, you know, or it's just the certain things that they poison, just I have a really bad reaction to them. And so my body's allergic or overrun with them or whatever it is. All they can tell people is, well, it's an autoimmune, you know, it's your body reacting to being poisoned all the motherfucking time. Just come out and say it. Just be clear about what's going on. Like, these doctors are goddamn zombies. All these fucking people who've been out here working in this shit, who are just fucking zombies, man. They just don't think for themselves or don't want to think for themselves. And they're all just going down and shit. Like, fuck. The amount of arrests and stuff going, that is just the amount of stuff coming out. So I don't know what, you know, how they're going to bring this all down. It seems like they're really trying to bring this huge, huge drama in. And there is, and I even have a hard time, because I think the Crane is attacking the other place. Because it's like the UN is masters, you know. It's where they try to get all of the countries to say these people are in charge, and where they've taken, you know, and destroyed so many places. And so the people don't want to have that. And this guy definitely doesn't. I mean, he's been like Trump calling him out and stuff on all of these criminals that are trying to run the world or whatever. And their influence, banking, the media, I mean, they run the government. And so because in order to be on the BRICS, it is a peace treaty. It's like you have to sign onto this peace treaty. And so even when they're sitting there, see, I don't think Iraq hasn't signed on. Oh, and also there was a huge tsunami and an earthquake in Afghanistan. There's a bunch of shit going on. Like, there's a bunch. Like, there's no, I mean, there should be nobody who is sitting there thinking, well, there's nothing going on. Well, I mean, if I wasn't paying attention in the world, if I wasn't going out and actively trying to seek what's going on in the world. Oh yeah, because I wanted to say about that is, so while I'm actively seeking, and I see all these people who are just talking about manifesting, that's such a big thing to the spiritual community. And, some of the things is, that they're trying to manifest, it's theirs anyways. It's not like they're not trying, like there was a point in time, like after I watched The Secret, and I knew, I mean, my guides kept telling me that you can't control huge amounts of money like that. You can't just be like, well, I'm just gonna have such control, I'm gonna win the lottery, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. No, it only happens if it's meant to happen. It won't happen just because you thought it into existence. And so the what was I gonna say? So when you do get your manifestations, it's because that was supposed to be yours. And the thing is all these people keep wanting to manifest huge amounts of money. What you should be manifesting is security and what are the things you want? Like, what is it you want the money to give you? Because that is what you need to be manifesting, or the things that you do. The money is the middleman in this universal action, in this manifesting action. The money is the middleman. The money is, the lesson too. It's so many lessons. Like, fuck. Man, think about all of the lessons revolved around money, around people. Like yesterday I was watching these old movies and just so much murder, people killing spouses for money. I watched 2 true stories yesterday that were old. What was that one? Oh, because I watched an old Halloween one. And that was something I kept putting out into the universe. Like, I'll tell them what I want to see. And then they'll bring me, for my viewing pleasure, how was this one? Be like, oh, no, that's not it. And then they'll bring me another one. And then it's like, oh. But I'll be thinking, like, they can pick up on my feelings. Like, so it's kind of like I'll think of a movie, and so I kept thinking of like old kind of 70s Halloween movies, and then Newcastle After Dark popped one up, and they are even doing a double feature, so there should be another one popping up. And it was I liked it. It was good. It was an old one with Charles Durning. I can't remember everybody's name, but anyways, it was good. And but in these other ones, it was, this one woman, these were true stories too. And this woman, her kids didn't even know how many times she was married. She was married 10 times, and then she had relationships in between, and she would get their insurance. She would get insurance on them. She'd kill them, all sorts of stuff. And finally, she ended up in jail. But one of her kids had to turn her in. The other kid was such an enabler. He'd go hide a body for her. And I've heard those kinds of stories before. It's just like, man, the manipulation stuff. But while I'm watching that stuff, I can always see like the deeper soul stuff. Like these are like such obvious soul patterns of things trying to twist around or playing out or something. Like they're, I don't know, it's kind of like horrific stories or something. And they're whole things that are playing out. So it's like, I don't know, it's just obvious to me, but it's just as intense. There's so many intense, crazy things that people, souls can come up with to experience. And, yeah, man, I don't know. These mom, and there's so many horrible things coming out on the news right now about these parents and stuff, and it just keeps being so many damaged people are going and having kids. People who have no business having kids. We've had no respect for family. We've had no respect for kids. We have no respect for life. We have no respect for, I mean, you can see why things have to change. You can see why everything has to blow up. It's like, oh, you're not going to respect life? Well, let's just see how that goes. So everything has to blow up. But you get all of the, this reevaluation so that you can, heal and see, it's like there's a whole thing happening, a transitional period. But it is so much, and it's so much with all of these people that we're making it so toxic. Like all these people want to keep on focusing on Hollywood and stuff. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh yeah. And Nick, the guy I was just talking about the other day, it was live all the time, and he was always was I talking on here about it? I'm pretty sure. And he would always be smoking weed, and he would have, like, there would be a whole Zoom call, everybody be on. It was a really fun one. And he was a documentary guy, and he did pedo something, and he just put out another one. And his thing, I think, is under Lions Productions or something. And I think his name is like Nick Volar or something. I can't remember his name. But anyways, he just put out another one, and I think it's on, it starts with an R. People say the channel all the time. I'm pretty sure it's on one of those side channel things that are all the people that go for information. I can't think of what it's called, but anyways, it's on one of those channels, and I just saw people talking about it, just came out. In the clip I saw, it looked like it was going to be really good, and his other one was really good. Well, I don't know how many he's done, but the pedo one. But anyways, there's so many people who think like it's, all Hollywood was the problem. And it's like, no, it's beyond Hollywood. It's beyond government. It's beyond medical. It's beyond the lawmakers. It's beyond the law. What are those people called? I'm talking about the cops, the law enforcers. And they've got so many different agencies of law enforcement over us, and so many laws and stuff that they try and write and tell us that we have to follow them and stuff. So all of the corruption, there's so many. And what I kept saying too is how many of them are in these small towns, like these rich people who were running the town, and they were really, a bunch of sickos. I just saw this old news report where it was saying in England and the UK that they had stolen so many kids from, I think it was Africa. It was a certain place. And they went and were stealing all the kids. And it says right there in it, they were using them for human, RITUAL, right in the article. Like 600 kids were used for that. That's like king and queen debris. But there's a whole group of people that are at those things. So there's a lot of people involved, and, all of this huge takedown, it was already being taken down. I mean, Hillary was supposedly like early on, like in 2016 or something. I just saw, it might have been 2018, but it was early on. Like they were already taking things down. And I guess it's kind of like the bad things that are going on is the reaction. Like they can't stop the reaction of the bad people. They can't stop them from putting out a whole bunch of bombs and then, trying to get people. It's crazy. The Empire State Building's lit up by it. Oh, all the people are showing their support. Everybody's holding a flag. I was like, immediately they get this stuff going. It's so crazy. And, and it's a part, of the empathy and people paying attention. So it's a whole thing. But I was thinking also with that manifesting where everybody keeps talking about like, oh, do this sound, do this chant, do this, and manifest money, money comes to me, money is mine, I'm abundant, all these different little things that are like, what are those things called? They are affirmations. So it's like continuously affirming to yourself. So it's constantly giving yourself positive talk, which on all the things, that's what you got to figure out how to do. On all the things that you find yourself being scared about or fearful or whatever, you got to find that positive affirmation to cut off the negative or the fearful part. And so money comes to me, I'm abundant, I'm deserving, all this stuff, which that one lady was talking about, that is what's holding the QFS back, is because people don't think that they are worthy. They're looking for someone to save them. They're looking for, the government to get fixed so we can get back to normal, people. We just got to get back to the way things were. We got to get back to our jobs and, letting them inflate all of society and crumble us. It's like, no, this is the crumbling. This is where they've pushed it. This is the end of it. And the people, I keep having all these things crossing over and I can't say them all fast enough. So let me think of what this was because people are, there's going to be so many people losing their jobs, losing all their stuff. All of the things are all going to be replaced with better. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the looking at the affirmation thing, and it keeps saying about the money and stuff. It is like that all of the people turning in that direction and doing that affirmation and turning that energy, it is the energy that turns it. So I think that those things, even though that's not how manifesting works, just turn everybody into a millionaire, but we're turning into this time of abundancy. And it kind of is like saying it over and over, affirming to yourself, affirming to the universe, is like the turning the boat, turning the rudder, turning the direction of our society. And that is a part of the flipping, the golden age, the abundance, the jubilee, is all of the stuff coming back to us, even though it's in the motion. But when you talk about the energy we're putting out, the energy we're putting out is also bringing it in, is bringing it towards us. So all of that chanting and saying it and stuff, that positive affirmation is influencing the energy. But it was always going to happen that way. It's a part of the whole thing. But it also has that micro macro thing to see how, well, they were using it against us, but how we can direct the energy like in society. And so it is going to be where everybody's going to become abundant, but that's where you don't want to get hung up on just numbers. You got to think about what are the things you want. It's not about the money. Like, what if all the things they give you are everything you need? You need shelter, you need resources, you need a way to get around, you need all these kinds of things that they give those to you. Well, aren't you abundant then? Didn't you get everything that you need? Or do you just need a whole bunch of money in the bank because you're scared that you may not get everything you need? You may need something later. They may have only gave it to you that one time. It may only be, you know what I mean? That's where you're learning this trusting the universe, this trust, of so you don't need to just have like a big old bank account. That it isn't. It can be very. I mean, you can see like with so many people, it became more of like scared to lose it, and then have to put more in, and it's like it becomes a fear, it becomes a trapping, it becomes chains that bind you. There's one thing about not having to worry about anything because you have plenty of money, but it's another thing once it becomes a trap and it becomes a focus, it becomes something you're concerned with, something you're scared about. So see, that's a whole nother group of lessons that people have to go through. And, when you don't learn them in those, like, yeah, you can come back and be rich again and see if you can get over that, that I got to hold on to it and stuff. But you see it play out. That's why they even like say in the Bible, for a rich man to get into heaven is like trying to get a camel through the eye of a needle, because it's inflates the person. It becomes like their God. It becomes so important to them. And so it's, the things that you need are the things that you need to focus on, all of what you feel like you need in life. And if consistent income is a part of it, then they will, that's where you come in. And it can be like, there's all sorts of things. Like, if you're just completely lost, like you have no idea what you're good at, but you want to get a little farm, you want to grow your own food, you want to get some of your friends to get out there and everybody to get little farms out there together, grow your own food, have your own little festivals and stuff. I just saw the coolest one. These people bought 88 acres and then they ended up getting 100. They've got a whole bunch of families who have moved out there. They all get together and have little parties. That's what I said from the start, was that's what it's going to turn into. It's going to turn into socializing, music, singing, eating together, dancing, getting back to that kind of things that humans really enjoy, the connection part of life, the part where you are having fun, where kids are out there dancing and singing and enjoying life. And so, and starting their own little education systems, of teaching the kids. And people teach kids skills, teach them what you know. If all you know how to do is cook, teach them how to cook, teach them how to measure things. Like, it's all things like, knowing what the different things are called in the kitchen. I mean, right there, kids need to learn that. They're not learning that in school. Jesus Christ, to have your kid move out and they don't know shit. So they're not teaching them. They're not preparing them. And then they're not giving parents much time, and the parents don't even know what the kids' deficits are until they start moving out. And then the kids are all anxious and scared of everything. And, there's a lot of healing that has to be done in our society. And all this is going to push people into knowing that they need healing. And so then there's going to be tons of jobs that are going to go. There'll be jobs that will be filled back in with AI. But when you have something that you're good at, and it can be like, I saw this lady who she raises rabbits. Rabbits are real simple to raise, and if you like to eat them, and then I guess she apparently sells the pelts, and she also sells the poop for fertilizer. She sell a huge amount, and they make it so much, and they don't. What they eat is cheap. And so anyways, there's, and I saw someone else who raised chickens and they sold their poop. Like, you can have certain animals and sell their poop. You just have to be on top of being organized. Like, that can be your skill. You're organized, you're able to follow through. Like, there's some people's skills that are really good researchers. Like, man, their mind just works in a certain way. And we all have certain ways that our minds work. We all have certain things, certain gifts, certain things you bring to the table that will benefit you. And it's already set up. It's like wherever you're going to end up being, there's some sort of like a niche there for you. You have to, recognize it. You have to get to know yourself through this transition so that you can step into your role, so that you can find your purpose. You can be in your mission. Once you start seeing, there's going to be, like, we're still in this big shifting. We're still in this big storm. And so it's, but in places where people are, then they have to decide what is right for them, where to go and what they want to endure and where they want to go and stuff. You got to listen to yourself, though, because yourself will tell you, like, well, you can go, but there'll be a storm there. Just like that one lady, she's trying to leave California to get away from the storms and goes right into one in Georgia or something. So, whatever you're supposed to endure, you're going to endure it. Just like I've said, it doesn't matter where people get all hung up. Well, should I go right or should I go left? Well, if I go that way or go that way, do I take this one or do I take that one? You get so caught up. But it's the same lessons. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which way you go. It's not going to change anything. You're just going with what lessons that you're going to learn. And you are always going to pick the one you pick. So it's like this whole thing where we stress ourselves out so much. But that's the kind of things, like when you start understanding destiny and you start being like, well, I'm going to pick the one I'm going to pick. I mean, it's already set. It's already going. I'm going to sit here and overthink it. I'm going to draw charts. I'm going to draw. But those are your lessons. Yeah, or, you just sit back and, ask them which one, and you pay attention to the signs or what they tell you, and that's your answer. You don't have to sit and overthink it and overthink it and overthink it. And it, and it can be, maybe it's going to be the one that paid more money, and then your lesson is going to be about, it's not all about the money, but you had to go learn that lesson. You had to take that job. It's not ever like, well, if I just wouldn't have taken it, no, you're supposed to. You're supposed to go in. You're supposed to learn it. The lesson is what you're here for. You're not here to be perfect. You're not here to be, you are exceptional, but that you got to wrap your head around that. But you're not here to be perfect. You're here to be yourself, to find yourself, to advance yourself, to become yourself, to evolve into yourself. And, that's why it doesn't do any good to keep trying to follow all these people's rules, which makes no sense when these people say they're on a spiritual journey and they're sitting there trying to say rules for people. There's no rules. The rule is you find yourself. You discover you. And it's, and you got to get comfortable with it. It's got to get to where you can be visible. You can be real. You can be authentic because you're comfortable with yourself. And that is a really hard thing for people. They fear rejection. Even that one guy was talking about. That's the biggest fear that people have, is people to reject them, or people to not like them. And, and it's just the way it is. You can't please everybody. You will drive yourself crazy trying to please everybody. And if you run across somebody and they come across, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'd really like to be their friend. And then you go and you try and it's like, oh, this just isn't clicking. It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you're less. That's a vibrational thing. You can still look at somebody and still think like, oh, they're super cool, but not be a vibrational match. And so you don't have to sit here and be like, well, I should have been different. If I could just have friends like that. You're getting too caught up because it isn't anything about them. And there's something in you that got triggered, and you got to go in and find that so you can release it. So you're not out there trying to make friends with people who you don't need to be friends with, because those are your lessons. You're trying to chase things that aren't meant for you. And the things that are meant for you, you're not paying enough attention to. because you're so busy trying to chase something that's not meant for you. So there's a lot of stuff when people start realizing about destiny, but all these people who are on this spiritual journey, it's way more about this like competition or something. I don't really know what's going on. It's all going to blow up, just like all of this stuff. Everything is just going to keep blowing up. Every group, everything. It's going to come down to you got to be comfortable with you. You can't just hang your hat over here, hang your coat over there, put your gloves over here, and keep yourself, comfortable because you have this comfort group that makes you feel okay about yourself. All the different things are going to keep falling apart. You got to feel comfortable about yourself just as you, is just you, just loving yourself. And when you can't do that, there's things in the way. Those are the things that you are meant to heal. You're meant to see those things. You're meant to understand those things so you can grow and so you can let those things go. So it's where people think like something's wrong with them or they're broken or all that stuff. No, those are like gifts for you to see so that you can make the changes that you want, so you can improve your life. So it's I don't know. There's just a whole weird thing about the spiritual thing. But all the different things, they all have a purpose. There's all a meaning. There's all a reason for it. For all of these people, this obsession, all of these different accounts being stuck and, just focus and refocus and refocus and refocus, and to be so serious about it. And the rest of you just don't get it. And it's just like you're just the ones who are stuck on the government, the ones who are stuck on religion, I don't know, people who are stuck on medical, they definitely, diagnoses, it's like you get certain diagnoses, it's like you win the lottery. You get everybody's attention, you get everybody's oh gosh, sympathy. Oh, everybody feels for you. You get so much positive attention. So that becomes intoxicating to people. So people enjoy being sick because they're getting what they want from people, but you have to be sick to get it. Because people don't know how to get it out of positive things. They don't know how to go and find things that they're good at. They don't know how to start their own businesses. They think they just got to promote somebody else's. It's like you're good at something besides, putting your extensions in and out and your lashes on and off. I mean, you do other things too. Like, I don't know. It's all a stepping, even if you're cooking and you're starting your cooking channel and all you know how to do is cook out of boxes. There's people who still need to learn how to cook, even at that level. So you still have something to offer. No matter what your level is, no matter where you're starting, don't be ashamed of where you're starting. You're going to have things to heal, but everybody's got things to heal. Everybody's got stuff that they got to look at. And, your deeper trauma, your deeper, harder things are super deep past life stuff too. There's so much past life stuff going on here. So much. And so many guys still with the what's going on has to do with the Roman Empire. They can tell you exactly how it has to do with it. I don't know enough about the Roman Empire to know about that, but my flashes go way further back than that part. But it's not further back, really. It's just time periods of lessons. And mine are more during that, like during the time with pyramids and stuff like that. So, I just have a strong understanding about the tribal and the group. Like, there's just certain things that I just have a really strong understanding about. But I feel like that's how it was a lot of living during that time, was that, that is even one of these problems with all of these wars that are going on, even with this one that they're making, with the surface right now, it's like two different religions, two different cultures, two different tribes, two different groups arguing over space, which is all, just being artificially influenced. But it is these just, it's two different philosophies, two different tribes. And then they get it to where religion has to be so important that people will kill over it. Like, and how in the world do you think that you are in God's good graces then? If God wants you just to be out in there taking care of his business for him, going around just slaughtering his creation, does that make any sense? It's like, religion is so toxic. But, I have a strong understanding, and I think it's back from times when I was here living, is it is in you. You don't need a person telling you. You don't need a person telling you anything. Everything is inside of you. And just everything. Like, everything is inside of you. And there's so much more to you. There's so much more about you. And this is the unfolding. And it's kind of like they have just made people so insecure. It's weird, when you sit here, like when I'm saying, like, at this point, I hear voices. My personality is fractured into multiple personalities. I've got distinct characters in my mind talking to me. I have, what is the other one? I see things, visual hallucinations. Like, all of these different things that they say makes you into mental illness. Where they say it's mental illness, that's our natural state of being. I just saw this really cool picture. This woman, and she's in the Appalachian. Her dad was there, and they were trying to take a picture of the moon. And it was pretty how it was coming over the mountains or something. And so they took a picture, but in the picture, there's a floating cabin. It's just floating up there. And so she's freaking out. And so she's showing, how is this there? Like, what the fuck is going on? And that is, though, was like what I was talking about before, about the realms. It's kind of like, start seeing the realms, because just because you are in a space and the space looks like this, the space is an illusion. It doesn't, and supposedly if everything went off, there would be nothing. There would just be empty space. It would just be darkness, except for the light of all of us. It would be like fireflies everywhere in darkness. But it is, but it's different realms of different realities. And so to us, it can look like it's the sky, but it could be a mountaintop somewhere else. So in a different time and place. So anyways, I just thought that was super cool. What was that? I've seen a few things where lately, just as, I don't know, confirmation was to me about the realms, and everything's just right here. It just depends on your vibration. And this kind of, I kind of feel like that this stage, this earth plane, that it is highly active. Like, there's tons and tons of souls here having experiences. Like, if all the lights went out, it would be tons and tons of souls. Like, you would see just lights of different souls. Like, there's so many. Like, I think if you went to some of the other planets, like where we think of other planets, where there's other places and other beings, that it isn't as much. This place is so condensed with all different groups. Like, even though we think of them just being from other countries and stuff, these are like other beings. There's a reason why it's called aliens, like aliens coming to our place. Even their thing with extraterrestrial just means extra land. But I always thought it's weird how they call aliens people out in space, but they also call aliens people who live in other countries. Always, ever since I was a kid, I thought. But now I look at it as because they are, like, certain groups are like, I don't know. I kind of feel like the Saudi Arabian people look very much like the Anunnaki people. The Anunnaki, when Stefano, Mateus Stefano on Gaia Channel, Initiation, and he explains what a lot of the different ones look like. And he was, in this picture, he showed the Anunnaki. They look like really good looking, like Vikings, like these big Viking men and stuff. They're, I think they're really pretty giant too. I think they're pretty big. And, but it kind of reminds me of like the Saudi Arabian people and, or people from that area. Like, I don't know what all countries and which all people, but like Middle Eastern kind of people. And there is a heavy influence of, because some of those guys from the hidden secret space programs and stuff, they have said, and I swear to God that I've even heard it in QHHTs, but when you go to other planets, most of the people are, it's not white people. Everybody, it's all colors of people. Everybody is like a tint of a brownish color. Everybody looks more like tribes and stuff. And so that is unusual right there, just the white people, which they had to use some DNA from something, but I think they were also trying to take out the melanin. I think there's something about that. And it's something that they try and do, like, we'll put two white ones together. We'll get them whiter, just like what they do with the dogs. Well, we want two that are smaller, so let's just keep doing it with the smaller ones. We want bigger ones, so let's keep doing the bigger ones. Like, it's the same thing that they do with us, I think. So, but some of the people who are here in different countries, they seem like they are already like beings from other places. Like, I think when some of these beings that come, whatever, when we start going and interacting, I don't know. I think there's groups of people are going to see like, oh my God, we have all these people that are just like us. In this whole other planet is filled with people just like us. You know, like the Middle Eastern people may go back to wherever the Anunnaki come from and go there and see like, oh my God, this is our people. We came from these people. This is our DNA. This is where we come from. I think there's going to be all sorts of interesting things like that. Like, we're really going to, but it's also, you know, of opening your mind, because there's some people who are so trapped in limitation that they, you know, and I think that is going to be the vibration thing to me, is what is going to keep people from moving forward. It's the person's own vibration, it's the person's inability to get over the things they need to get over. And I think it's, you know, I say it all the time and stuff, but I think that it's going to make a lot more sense when people start seeing what's going to happen, when whatever's going to go down is going to go down. Like, fuck, I still don't know. Like, they've got it so built up at this point. Again, now we're back to the circle back to the, is it going to be a nuke threat? And we're going to get some hits with some EMFs. So, I mean, they're already bombing some places and stuff. So, you know, something. And this is also going to be, you know, how they're going to crash the money, because they keep being like, oh, we gave $6 billion to this, now they're doing this, like, these ones didn't get it, now they're having a fit. Now it's like, this whole fucking thing is going to all come out about all of the scheming that goes on, you know, all the, you know, what our real value is. So that is going to all be exposed through this. And that is all, not just the traumas and the storms and all of the stuff, businesses closing, people getting sick and dying. Like, there's so much trauma that is going to keep pushing people to wake up, to start healing. And so that is going to be when it starts with the big mass healing. And people have to really start facing being tricked, not seeing. How did they not see? It's going to be such a mind fuck. It's going to be really hard. And the whole thing is, it's just lessons. It's just like it's something your soul is doing, like a reevaluation. Like let's look at this and let's get serious. Like it's like to get attention, draw attention to itself, so that it can really, cleanse. There's like a deep cleansing that needs to happen. And so your soul is drawing attention to itself so that you get focused to do the cleansing. But the cleansing has a benefit. And it's not just so I can get into heaven. No, you're from the heavens. You live in the heavens. There's no where you have to try and do anything special to get there. You go there automatically. You got no choice. That's where you're going. And I mean, you have a choice once you are out there and you are your soul. But the heavens is a broad spectrum of places that you can go and experience as a soul. Like I've always thought that's what the stars and stuff are, is like souls. Like there's just souls everywhere. There's just souls everywhere. And so you there's way more to life than just being in this body. It's just, that's the whole thing, is where people don't have an appreciation, where this body is very temporary. This experience is very temporary. And so many people feel so burdened by it. And it's so vast. And they have no gratitude and don't understand what the point is and stuff. So that's what life has to show them. Life has to remind them so that they can see. So they have to have all of these big experiences. Oh, something's tickling my nose. I have all these big experiences so that they can, improve themselves. It's like a big self-improvement. It's a big growth period. So it is all of that, is all for your benefit. And the people who can't keep up, they just won't keep up in the game. But that doesn't mean they really, die. It's just like they just leave the game. If you keep going, it's like you are like mastering. And it's also, to me, it has to do with your role, the seeding of the new developed world that we're creating. And it has to do with, all the lessons that we're learning through all of these experiences, through all this trauma. It creates a whole new civilization, a whole new way of being. And so it's, it's a lot. I couldn't even begin to know all the different things that are happening to people that are going to put them into great positions in our future, that they're going to, be directing things, directing communities, helping communities evolve. And so there's people who are, their insight, their vision, it can become overwhelming to them. Like they know what has to be done. And a lot of people, I think, kind of feel those feelings right now, but it is kind of like, it has to complete this thing that is happening, has to complete. And once it completes, it starts the next action. But we're still we're like in this domino that's tipping. This domino that's tipping over, and it's still got to go. But it's like it's so much. It's so heavy. And it still has to go and hit the other ones. It still has a whole action. But it is, it's starting like a whole new design once this turns, once this flips. And it goes, and the money goes down like that. The money going down, and that's the whole thing. To me, I keep hearing the stuff that Trump is saying, and I keep feeling like he's putting it out there that this is going to be like a step down, like get us back on our feet. But he's giving the power back to the people. The people will then create their own communities and their own rules, their own, stuff that they want to have rules of in their town. But they'll be a more highly evolved people. Like, it would be difficult to be low vibration and still keep going. And that's why I think so many low vibration things keep happening, to get people to question themselves. And it's not like you don't have to do much. You don't have to think about it. You're just like, I'm always showing them what I want in visuals. People are doing it all the time. You are communicating with them without you having an awareness of it. So it's where you need to start stopping and realizing the communication you're putting out, the energy you're putting out, because you're putting it out there. But you got to start acknowledging what it is you're putting out there. Is that really what you want, what you're putting out there? So that is where you start seeing. And that's a part of the awakening. That's a part of the development, the spiritual development of putting yourself on the path that you want to go, directing your energy in a positive way, feeling good about yourself, not feeling crushed. This was a funny, because this guy, he has, seemed young, he had really long hair, and he was saying, boy, I'm so confused. And you guys, like, what? Yeah, so many people keep saying, like, how do people just feel like they can say whatever they want to? But he said, I'm just so confused. He had this one girl come up and go, oh, well, you don't really know what to do with your hair yet, do you? And he was like, his hair is like, I don't know, it was long. And he was looking at her and stuff, and his comment too on his video was like, I mean, I grew it. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I know it, I understand it, I grew it. It took time to grow it. It's like, yeah, it doesn't sound like somebody who has long hair who's going to tell you, like, it takes years to grow your hair. Like, so, to tell him. And then, so he said, not just that, but he said, I'll have somebody come up and they'll tell me I'm so scary looking. And then another person come up and say how much they love it. It's just like this constant thing of going back and forth, back and forth. He said, it's really making me feel insecure. But those things right there is to help you become secure, to let go of you got to see the absurdity. Who cares? Who cares what these other people think about your hair? Who cares what these other people think about your lashes, your lipstick, what you like to wear, how you like to wear your hair? Like, there's all sorts of things that I think are strange. I think are over the top. We all have different things that we think are over the top. And why should we have to change that? Why should we have to be like, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings if they want to be over the top. It's like, be over the top. I'm over the top on things, but I have to still, like, be like, well, if I'm going to be over the top, then, I'll be acknowledged for being over the top. And that's just the way it is. Like, be comfortable with that. Don't worry about it. Don't try and figure out how to please everybody, how to, have everybody think that your hair is good looking and you're good looking and you're nice and you're friendly and all that. You can't get it. You can't please everybody. So you got to just let it go. But I think the absurdity of trying to, with all these things coming at you, that is giving you, that's what it's trying to help you go through, to help you see, to help you learn, so you can let go of it, so you can stop trying to people please, so you can walk yourself through it. And that's like what universe is doing in all these different lessons for people, is giving them an opportunity to see things for themselves, to open their eyes, and to, make changes about you that you want to make about you. Not trying to please other people, not trying to become the most perfect spiritual person or whatever. But there's no being the most perfect spiritual person. It's a long ass journey, and everybody's on their own. Like, there's no set thing. There's no set person. It's you finding your own inner peace, finding your own joy, finding your own gratitude, finding, getting comfortable, not sitting, or you got, a group of people who are completely in fear. They'll go down and get baptized. They'll do whatever you say. If you tell them that they can go to the good place, if they just do these certain things, and then they're doing the things just to get to the good place, instead of really following their own path to growth, to really learning and to establishing themselves. So that's the influence of fear over a person's development, and it's not productive. You need to spend the time on your own self, not, it's just the whole thing of trying to please others and being in fear and all of those things. Um, it's but it's uncomfortable and vulnerable to stand in your own, stand for your own, stand for yourself, to believe in yourself, and to accept, that you're strange, you're weird, you have some, dark thoughts, you have some, I don't know, it seems like people are kind of feel so much love towards other people, but they try and hide it. Like they try and be cool, like, like everybody, if everybody was really being their true selves and being their vulnerable, open book self, I think we'd all be running around hugging each other. We'd all be standing around holding hands, talking. Like we all want this deep connection. We all want to feel connected, to a deeper thing. Like I think we are way more emotional, but we're trying to hide who we are because it's vulnerable to show your emotions, to be yourself. Like people make fun of you. They do in elementary. We get made fun of. Oh my God, crybaby. What are you crying about? I think I got made fun of for a long time. I cry over commercials. I cry, God, the Folgers commercials back in the day. Even the Budweiser commercials. Like there was a lot of really good commercials that would get you crying back a long time ago. Now I can't even stand it. Most of them drug commercials anyways. Like they're just so manipulative, so disgusting, and it's just I don't know. It's just commercials and how TikTok has become and stuff. It's the commercialized, the consumerism, the money, give me money and stuff. It shouldn't even be about chasing anything about money. It should be personal development and the things that you need, not the money. You need security and livelihood and stuff like that. That's where people have to learn priorities. They have to start understanding, because the universe will provide you with what you need. But so many people think that they need money. This action that all these people are taking, I think, is a part of how the money ends up flipping and becoming like a jubilee. So many people are calling it in. So many people are saying, I deserve money. I have value. It's like the whole switching the energy, the flipping the energy, where everybody was so beat down. But they do it in like a classical ceremonial way. But actually, when you think about how important it is to do the confirmations, because it keeps your thought process in a positive way. It keeps the wheels spinning in that direction. So the confirmations, the affirmations, reminding yourself, and it's important to do through the things that are going on, and all this stuff is going and planes are going over, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's just, you don't know what's going to happen next. And you just got to keep telling yourself, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Everything is fine. Nothing can hurt me. And, I think that is part of the challenge for some of us. Like everybody's going through different parts. But it seems like the challenge to some of us is to just learn how to maintain ourselves, how to keep ourselves calm, to just keep, it's like an elaboration of your skills, your mind skills, of being able to have, good control. Like how, they would have those gurus who could levitate or something, who couldn't feel temperature. It's about this controlling your mind. So through this stuff, this is part of our development, is this mind control. And one is, I think, is a good one, is about fear. Figure out something you're scared of. Figure out something that scares you. and one that you can deal with, one that you can try and work on, because then you have to talk yourself out of it. Confirmation. Because you have to, because I did it over my fear of needles and spiders, but you have to me, with the needle one and with the spider one, it's like you just have to keep putting it into perspective. You keep putting it into, like, for the needles, I had to keep going, okay, it's tiny. It's a little tiny thing. It's pointy and it's sharp. It's not going to tear my skin apart. It's little. It'll just poke in. And whatever it was, I had to keep calming myself, because myself wanted to lose its goddamn mind and go crazy. This thing's going to cut me. It's going to fucking shot. It's going to just cut right in through my skin. It was driving me crazy. And I've endured a lot of, I mean, at that point when I was a kid, I had stepped on so many nails and stuff. And so I had been cut so many things. I'd had tons of injuries. But then they come at me with a needle, and I was like, freak out. And so I had to calm myself. I had to talk myself through it and get myself to where, I don't have a fear of needles now. And I can sit there and watch them do that. And before, but any fear you have, same with spiders. You got to talk yourself down. You talk yourself down through, like, logic. And you can talk yourself out of it. Just the same, you'll notice you talk yourself into it. Like, oh my God, something's so scary, something's so scary, something's right there. Oh my God, I just know something's right there. You make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So you draw the energy towards it. So you are the one who's creating this thing, making your fear bigger and bigger and bigger. So you have to turn the other direction. You have to talk yourself down out of the fear. Talk yourself backwards. Like, there's nothing to be scared of. Oh my God, why would I be scared of a spider? I mean, for one thing, they are on high alert. As soon as they see you, you stop and they freeze and they're watching you. If they ever come out and see you, they run and try and hide as fast as they can. Like, we can squash them and kill them so easy. And they have such short life expansion time anyways. They're not even there for very long. Like, they have such a short, I don't know, I think they have a very interesting life now that I look at it different. Before, when I just looked at it as like they were a bug, I looked at things different before. Like, I looked at bugs and dogs as pets and stuff. But then as I was evolving through this spiritual, and that was as a spiritual person, then as everything started becoming more evolved. That was after my dark night, after I had to heal a bunch of wounds. That was when I started feeling the depth of things. So, like, I felt it before. Like, I would cry over commercials and stuff like that. But, like, oh my gosh, over, like, animals and, oh my God, the planet and, oh my God, people and you start feeling things so much more. And then going around and seeing, like, oh my gosh, this is like a three-dimensional story or something. What the hell is going on? So there's just these different levels of things that go on during this whole thing, and nobody's is going to match anybody else's exactly. We all have a very independent way that we came in to experience this, and what we came in to heal and grow, what we came in to help others with, what we came here for the future for. So there's a lot going on, and we're still in this big part until, to me, the biggest sign will be once the money thing, once everybody knows, once it's like, okay, the dollars crashed, there's no more of that. That is going to be, then you can be pretty sure that's when things are going the other direction, that everything is going to, even though there's still going to be tons of trauma, there's still going to be storms and stuff going, there's going to be an energetic thing that will just feel I will just feel it. It will feel like going, like, it will be just like going upside down, and it will be like feeling right side up finally. It won't feel like, what in the holy hell? And being in the upside down and being like, why do all the people accept this stuff? Why don't people see? Why don't people stand up for themselves? So when it flips, there's going to be so much pressure on those people, of course, to stand up for themselves at that point. There's going to be businesses that are falling down around them. People are going to be left standing there with no job, no paycheck. And then it's going to be, now what do I do? Because now you completely think money's the only thing. And so now what? Now? And so stuff still to play out. But luckily there will be this Jubilee thing that will come in real swift about the money thing. But people are still just so off base on their morals of money and stuff. Money is just so important to them. So anyways, but that's kind of like a learning and a growing, because they kind of did that on purpose as a part of the program. They had to have you chase something. They had to have it be important to you. So you'd spend your whole life chasing it. What would they do if you didn't do that? So there's this whole thing where you have to start realizing money isn't what you want to get. What you want is security and the things that you get with the money, not the money. The money is, the energy that holds the dark energy. It's like this whole third party thing, this whole, I'm going to make money off of your work, where the person who's doing all the work has to lower the quality because they got so many people to pay out on. So it's like all these things that people think like, oh, well, we're leaving the system by doing this. No, you're not. You're not leaving it. You're just perpetuating it. Leaving it is making big changes. Like when I see those people who are going out and buying those, whole little towns of acreage and starting their own little towns, those people are making changes. They're not relying on the money anymore. They're putting their houses up. They've got their land. They've got all their shit. And they don't have anything to pay for. Put in some wells. Put in some solar. And, and that's during this time. Like there's going to be new developments in energy and stuff as this all progresses, because we're going to have all these patents that are open. We're going into free energy, free resources and stuff. But there's still so much of that has to play out and step down, and people have to realize and grow and stuff. So I don't know how it's all going to play out. Like I didn't see, they're going to have us like in tons of wars everywhere, but it's still just, I got to keep thinking about that there's this big peace treaty. Like they're trying to get us into peace, and these other people are trying to keep us in wars. So you got the peacekeepers and you got the war makers and battle over our consciousness, over what we do with our energy, of how we look at things. So anyways, and the way to look at things is through your spirit, through your soul. What is it doing here? Why is it here? What are you doing? What are you trying to heal? What are your problems? What things are you trying to get over? Is any of the things, any of your diagnoses, any of the stuff, you can get over it. It just is you working on you, you challenging you healing, you listening to your body, you listening to yourself. Your guides is important. Working on that communication. And so anyways, I'm gonna go. I keep thinking about, I kind of want to make biscuits and gravy or something. I'm excited to go shopping tomorrow to like get out of the house, if the check thing is gonna go in. Gotta see, but I'm gonna try and get some cash out, so I'll see how that works. But still, I'm in a smaller town. Yeah, it's going to be the bigger cities that run out of the cash first. I've already seen signs up. They don't take cash. There's no cash and stuff. So, but where I'm at, I think it will take longer, because there's just, I don't know, less action. I don't know how often those guys have to fill those machines. So anyways, I'm going to go do that stuff tomorrow and see how it goes. Oh yeah, and I had something. It said that I had something from a lawyer in the mailbox, But I'll see. It can be something from the credit cards, though. I think I've gotten things from lawyers over the past couple years, but it could be something for the house. But whatever, I mean, there's all these lawyers that they don't understand human rights. There's all these lawmakers, law enforcers, all these people that don't understand. Like, there's God's law. We're stepping out of man's law and we're going towards God's law. And if you want to hold us back with man's law, then you're going against God's law, and God's law overrides man's law. So you will go down for crimes against people who are trying to live by God's law. So, I mean, the people will go down. Like, all of these different people are going to go down. Now, again, is the thing where all these people keep thinking, oh, it's all Hollywood. No, it's going to be your fucking neighborhoods. There's going to be people from the schools, from the churches, people who worked at the grocery store. Like, there's going to be fucking people going down all over the place for participating in any of these crimes with any of these people. Like, there's going to be so many different things that are going to go on. So we'll see. I think people are going to be surprised of some of the shady shit that their families have been involved with. But people, they get involved with shady shit when there's a lot of people doing shady shit around them, and they think, oh, well, everybody else is doing it. You can't think like that. You got to go with what is internal. What does your soul say? You always got to go with what your soul says, not what the group is doing. And there's, a lot of those groups just are trying to darken your soul, to pervert your soul, to make you doubt yourself, to make you think you're small. So it's all been done on purpose. Like, they've been doing it for a long ass time. So anyways, and I don't know what today will hold. For all we know, the power is going to go out. We're going to be in the middle of a war, and it's Sunday. If this is going to be the thing about the banks, and maybe they won't open on Monday. It's the same thing every weekend. It's like, but one of these weekends, one of them will be the one where everything will turn. One of them will be like, oh, thank God, finally. Seems like it's a million miles away. It's 100 years away or something. But we'll get there. I just know people are so beat down, so fucking tired. So anyways, I'm tired. So I will talk to you later. Bye.